Hello YouTube, this is Reesel88. Today I'm going to be showing you a new game coming out on Roblox. So briefly, I'm just going to show you all the current weapons available, most of which are not available in tester phase, but will be available on launch, if not shortly after. We are also getting new weapons and new abilities coming on launch that I cannot see, but I will go ahead and name some of them. To start off, I'm going to show you the blacksmith, where you would make a lot of your armors and weapons. And we're going to go through them, starting at the first, which is Chain Fist. You start with a move called Fist. Chain Fist is just a slightly more powerful version of that. You get it from beating the first boss at around level 25. It is not too hard to get. Frankly, I would go ahead and skip it, in my personal opinion. Cutlass. A little bit further in. Basically, you'll farm this around the same time you'll be able to farm the Chain Fist. Honestly, with more range and slightly less base damage, it's not necessary to go for. I would skip it as well. The first equipment you'll be able to get is Snake Belt, which you'll be able to farm from level 1 from the first mobs, which are snakes. Scales drop from snakes. They're fairly okay. For the Snake Belt, you really don't need any of this early game equipment. I would go ahead and skip it. Kunai can be useful due to the fact it can be thrown. However, for various reasons that I will get into later, I would also recommend skipping all of the commons. Executioner's Blade is a very, very good weapon that you can get from fighting a boss around level 40, 45. He's not too hard. It causes bleed on hit. Its base damage is basically on par with the Game Pass Yoru's M1 damage. Thus, I would recommend picking it up if you do not buy the Yoru Game Pass. It has slightly less attack speed. However, the base damage is just slightly less, and it causes a passive bleed. Passive bleed actually deals decent damage. I would say the Executioner Blade out damages the Yoru in M1 damages alone. The Sasuke Scarf. It is good for the speed boost. So right now, quickly I'll just go through the weapons. I'll talk more about them later, but the Sasuke Scarf has the highest speed boost. Is that enough to make it worth getting? No. It's decent HP and decent energy. At that level, you really shouldn't need more HP or energy, especially energy. Energy is not that good of a stat at the early game. Surf and Tail. As you can see, it's slightly more HP and more balanced stats than the Scarf. It's 5 Hydra fins. Hydra fins can be sold to a random event merchant for 25 gems each. So this is an ability and a quarter. Ability spin and a quarter. I would skip it just for that alone. So the Hydra fins. This currently is the highest M1 damaging weapon in the game. It outdamages the Yoru and has the same attack speed, 1 less range, which is not going to make the biggest of difference, as well. And its passive, very similar, from what I've seen from Bite, it's very similar to Bleed, just a little bit extra damage. First weapon I would suggest going into would be the Korobachi, just for the fact that it's very easy to get. You'll get it around level 50, 55 from a rare. The tooth is a rare drop from boss. Crafting it with these materials, not too hard. Get it, use it. Now people in the tester phase are mainly using this. Like, there's no better weapon currently in the tester phase besides the Yoru for the ability. But this right here is the weapon everyone is using in the tester phase. Cursed Katana. Not currently available. You cannot obtain cursed gems. However, in the new update on release, we assume that they're going to add cursed gems. They have vaguely said that they would add. Most most, if not all of these items will be available on release. Cursed Katana. It has a chance to double its damage on proc. That's very good. Depending on how quickly this procs, it could be the best weapon in the game. Because 8 times 2 is 16. More upgrades you put into it is probably going to cap out around 48-ish, between 40 and 50 damage. Double that, it's going to be 80. And base damage, that's just base damage. So 80 base damage is super high. And it's super easy to craft. Depending on if cursed gems are going to be mineable, you could get very lucky and be able to get this from level 50. Like, the moment you hit level 50, you should be able to craft this, depending on if cursed gems are mineable. The wolf fur cloak. All health. Energy is not that important of a stat. I would recommend this. Right now we don't have Dark Wolf, but if they add Dark Wolf on the next update, 100% recommend going and getting this. It will probably be the only piece of armor you'll need until you hit level 100. The Ice Cape. The Ice Cape, less damage, more energy, more speed. More speed just means more dodging and more jumping. Could be useful for PvP, but at that point, Sasuke's Scarf gives 20 less HP, and HP is the only important stat. And more speed. If you want to dodge more and you want to jump more for PvP combat, the Scarf is going to be better than the Ice Cape. I would skip the Ice Cape. Demon's Greatsword. Currently not available. As you can see, it is a cursed gem. And 5 more black steel and 1 ruby more than the Cursed Katana. As well as it has anti-magic, which claims to absorb the energy of its enemies. What I assume that's going to mean is it's going to have an energy draining effect. This could be one of the best weapons in the game, due to the anti-magic effect. Depending on the new update, being able to drain their energy means they can block less, they can use less moves. All around, this is probably going to be the best PvP weapon in the game, depending on the damage of the later weapons and what they add in the update. Namekian's Cape, just a balanced cape, honestly. If the wolf fur cloak is out, skip. Right here too, it has more HP. This is currently the best equipment available in the game, with 200 HP and 75 energy. If the wolf fur coat is out, skip the battle armor. It's just slightly less HP for slightly more energy. Energy currently is not that useful. Thor's Might, not available. I have seen it used. It's a pretty good weapon. I mean, got amazing range. It has the same range as the Yoru. 1 less attacks, Celestial Blade. This is currently the only blessed weapon available for testers that did not buy the Game Pass. It's okay. It's okay. If they ever boost the level, like max level's 100, and then you have rebirths after, but max level's 100. If they ever boost that, it could become one of the better weapons in the game. But from what I've seen, the base damage caps out around 30. It becomes stronger in your level, which means it doesn't require any strength or magic stats. That's not good, because you could put more than 100 in your stats easily. So having 30 base damage, 10 more than any other weapon in the game, isn't going to make too much of a difference when you have, triple the amount of magic than your level. Since you can go up to like 300 magic at Rebirth 5. You can have triple the amount of magic or strength than your level. This is just going to get out-scaled. An event has started. This man buys valuables from you. He'll buy ores, everything like that. It's where you can sell the Hydra Fins. Before your first rebirth, if you get one Wreck Arrow, one Adamantine, or one of the Golden Orbs, you can completely max out the level of your armor, weapon, and an ability. I'd say the more ones you focus on is the Adamantine and the Golden Orb. Or Golden Core, I think it's called. These will allow you to get a max weapon and a max armor, which is far more important than maxing your abilities due to the fact the cores and the alloys you need to max armor and weapons are a lot harder to obtain than the things that you need to max your abilities, which dupe abilities turns into those. You're going to be pulling a lot, especially when you first start, so that's going to really boost your, damage more than it would to get a Wreck Arrow. So I recommend saving up for the Adamantine and the Golden Core. Next weapon's the dual rune blades. Not currently in the game. I know for a fact that Thunder Gem, Flame Gem, and Frost Gem will be available on release. This has been stated. We can assume the Curse Gem will be too. This weapon is probably going to be one of the better weapons. It has 2 less range than the Yoru. Same attack speed. Okay. Range, important, but I would say it's not the most important thing. There are a lot of stuns and other abilities that you can use to close the distance on your opponent and get them in a nice combo, so the more damage you do, the better. Not really range. Base damage 20, that's pretty much double the Yoru, the Game Pass weapon. And it has a chance to proc an elemental status effect. I'm not sure what these elemental status effects, but going off of the materials used, I'm going to assume that it's going to proc a lesser version of Shock, a lesser version of Curse. Deals double damage. This is probably going to do 1.5. This is just me saying stuff, okay? Don't take this as what it's going to do, but judging based on the crafting materials and the description, chances are it's going to proc either Thunder, Flame, Frost, or Cursed. Frost is probably going to be a slow effect. Flame is going to be a burn effect. Pretty self-explanatory there. But yes, I believe Cursed is going to be like 1.5 damage. So, due to the fact the Cursed Katana does double damage when you use the Cursed Gem. So it's probably going to proc the same effect, but lesser. I highly recommend, if this is available, the moment you hit 100, farm it. It's going to be, if you're going a strength build, this is probably going to be the best weapon for you in the game. This or Thor's Hammer, I'm going to say, this is probably going to be better. Just based on, depending on what the elemental status effects are. Godslayer. It does a percent burn based on HP. What that means is it doesn't scale with your damage. So similar to Celestial Blade, except it doesn't scale with level, it scales with the opponent's HP. Anyone who dumps their points into HP, this is going to burn through them. It's going to do a lot of damage. It's very situational. It's very easy to craft. Blessed gems are not too hard to get. Divine gems, I assume, is going to be gotten in the same way. I would say get it. For bosses, it's going to tread. For players, it depends on the player, but chances are it's, this is wood. You need wood to, really it has almost no use. You can use it in the cutlass. I believe that's the, Karabachi too. It's, there's going to be more uses for the wood later on, I assume. But yeah, you can buy it there. You can buy it here. 100 coins. 100 coins, pretty easy to get. This is a new face. Your faces are random. When you get it, you can, buy it, get a new face. Just look at that. Till you find one you like. There's, according to the devs, there's like 200 plus faces. From Escanor or Pride here, you can buy a potion. If you have excess cash, sure. Don't recommend it. Later on, you'll get a heal ability. You can mine rubies and use them, get a health potion from those. Jackson, Michael Jackson here. You can become a villain. Currently does nothing, just, leaderboard. Might, as you assumed, hero. Minato. Minato's only use will be getting a teleportation mark, which you can use from anywhere on the map to teleport to this main little area here. Vegetable. You can go rank PvP. It's just a queue. You just queue up for rank PvP. This will be your summon area. It's 100 gems a summon. At first, it's going to be slow getting gems, but once you start actually getting higher levels and prestiging and stuff, you're going to be getting a lot of gems. It's your first prestige, you're going to get 1,000 gems, second, 2,000, etc. Earning gems is not going to be hard. There's a lot of achievements here, and I assume there's going to be more. Every single prestige, you're going to be able to get around 700 to 800 gems from missions. I will show you some. But first, this is Sun. You can use another one, Key Fist. Key Fist is currently the only magic weapon in the game. It has the highest attack speed, along with all the other fist. The shortest range, has no passive. It's a common. If you're going magic build, which I recommend doing from the start, you're going to want to grab the fist. Should you do this and not get anything else? No, I'm stubborn. That's the only reason I did it. I'm gonna get to Rebirth 5 before the test is over, and I'm gonna do it solely with Key Fist. Farmer. These are one of your non-repeatables. You can do them every Rebirth. They give 100 gems. They're mostly boss quests. This one is picking bananas off the trees. There's 7, 8, 9, somewhere around that of them. So you're going to be, doing those. These quest areas, you'll see them as you go by. It's not hard. If you're ever confused, every 10 levels you can reset. And on reset, you'll be giving this. You can choose where to spawn. Every 10 levels, you can spawn somewhere new. The Church of Hope. So the Church of Hope is not a grinding area. It's for one non-repeatable mission from Asuka. You basically talk to him. You'll run from the church here. You'll run all the way over here. Jump up here, here, boom. Talk to him. Get 100 gems. That's it. This is the ninja place. We'll fight Sabasa, or whatever they want to call him. Up here. Yeah, jumping's a little annoying in this game. You have to wait for your cooldown. There's 2 ores, 3 ores. Ooh, that is a this is a rune, I believe. Yes, these are very rare. Highly recommend getting those every time you see them. They're blessed. The blessed gems will look like gold, but will shine brighter. So always grab these 2 if you see them. They're going to be used in crafting blessed weapons, which are the best. Sussy here will give you 100 gems. You can only use it once. Even if you rebirth, you'll never be able to use it again. This is where dungeons are going to spawn. Not sure the details on that. Cell here. He has 3 phases. And drops. I don't have it, but it's a blessed ability called Father's Son Kamehameha. Right now, it is the highest damaging move in the game. On release, probably going to change, but right now it is. This is the AFK chamber. It does not need to be there because it's also at spawn. Down here, you're going to see the seller spawn here. It's Kisuke, if you watch Bleach. He'll sell 3 items. It'll be Roku, Arrow, Requiem Arrow, Double Fruit, Dragon Ball, and Adamantine Golden Cores, which alloys are replaced by Adamantine. They give you 10 levels. Golden Cores cores are replaced by Golden Cores. They give 10 levels into your equipment. Fragments are dropped from duplicate abilities. You can farm them from bosses that drop abilities. Currently, Frieza drops Death Beam. Arlong drops Water Shark. Executioner's Silence can only be used with the Executioner's Blade. I will show you. It will give you an error. Yeah. It drops from Sabasa. And Father's Son Kamehameha, of course. Drops from Cell. if you want to farm fragments, alloys and cores, Death Beam, farm it, farm Frieza. You'll get decent drops on Death Beam. Every Death Beam is going to give you 8 fragments. So you see level 1 takes 2, level 2 will take 4, level 3 will take 6, level 4 will take 8. It goes up by 2 every level. So, one thing that I did not know is Requiem arrows work like this. So, it says it's random. However, it's not. It will always go into the same ability until max. So if you have, say you're Rebirth 3, and you have 4 Requiem arrows, you're going to max one ability. Your 5th arrow will go into a different ability. Are the abilities random? I'm not sure, because I've heard a lot of people get Black Meteorite. So it might go down the list. I hope it doesn't, and I hope it's actually random, but from what I've seen and heard, a lot of people on their first Requiem arrow, if they have Black Meteorite, get it in Black Meteorite. As you can see, if I use this, it's either going to go into Party Kick or Black Meteorite. Not sure. Because I rebirth, so my maximum level here would be 50, not 40. Every rebirth, it goes up by 10. If you look at your stats, you'll see potential. 10 is your base one. On prestige, you'll gain 10 more. Potential judges the max level for your equipment, weapons, and powers. So 40 at the rebirth 3. If I use the Requiem arrow, it goes into Black Meteorite. Until Black Meteorite is level 60 at rebirth 5, Requiem arrows will always go into it if you have it. Afterwards, I believe Party Table is next. I'm not sure if this is just for me, but if my Black Meteorite is not updated, Requiem arrows will always upgraded. Key Fist, I'm pretty sure is the same. I don't have another weapon to test, but a lot of the people who have maxed out their weapons have Key Fist maxed out. Crown is something you get for purchasing VIP with Roblox. It's not good. As you can see, I have it level 11, and it gives less HP than, level, literally commons. It's on par with the rare, lesser than a rare, honestly. Craft some gear, replace it as soon as possible. Because the more weapons, the more equipment that you have, the harder it's going to be to upgrade the one you want. Because right now, all the golden cores I use are going to go to my crown until it's maxed. Afterwards, it's going to go to my monkey coat. And if I get something better, which on release I'm going to get a better equipment, it's going to all go into my monkey. I have to max out these two before I can use those golden cores to max out the new one. Same with Key Fist. When I get another weapon, my Key Fists are going to max out before I can do anything with that other weapon. You can still do it via, the cores and the alloys, but as you can see, I require 88. They're not easy to get. You can farm sell here for them. You're going to get at most 6 if he even drops it. So it's not going to happen. Androids, they are a repeatable quest from Trunks. They drop Absorption Grab. Technically they're bosses, but at the same time they're, I would say, the weakest of the bosses. They drop Absorption Grab. I will show you it here in a second. It is right here. It absorbs energy. You can use it to combo. If you're PvPing, you can do an auto combo into Absorption Grab and then start another one. It's okay. Like I said, it drains energy. Draining energy at the moment is really good. Wouldn't use it because it takes your ability spot, and you have 4. You have 5 ability slots here. That's all you have. There is currently no way to get any more. It's an Arlong quest and your Fishman quest. The reason I came here is, so during my first level, I farmed the Fishman until 100. From 50 to 100, I farmed these. They are very easy to kill. You're almost unkillable. You would just sit up there and use ranged moves. The next NPC afterwards, however, are the G-Force. As you can see, they are a lot more spread out. A lot more. You just want to farm the fish, man. The G-Force are too spread out and whatnot. As you can see, I just found an arrow. An arrow is a free spin. I'm saving them because they're going to be dropping new abilities. So I'm not going to use it just yet, but it's a free spin. You can find them on the ground. You can buy them from the shop. If you don't have every ability, buy them. Always buy them. Always pick them up. There's no reason not to. Even if you have every ability, you can get fragments, which leveling your abilities is the best thing you can do in the game. I would say it's more important than getting all the abilities is to just level some abilities. I'm currently missing, from the spins, I'm missing one ability, which is Chrono Time Stop. It's just a time stop. It's very good for grabbing enemies, freezing them, as well as, like, you know, aggroing NPCs to your direction. So, like, if I was to sit on a hill or a tree here and I would use time stop, all the NPCs here will be stunned. They will take a minor amount of damage and they will run towards me. So I can just sit there and basically use time stop and then, you know, other moves to kill them. I wouldn't have to run around, punch them, gather them all up, and then do all my moves. I could just use time stop. It's a very useful ability. If you get it early on, you're going to have a really nice time grinding. Final Explosion is the only ability currently that scales off health. At below 50% HP, you'll go invincible, take all your HP and damage, and then you will do a big explosion for a ton of damage. It's worth it. It has a stat scaling of 1, so every 1 HP you get 1 more damage. If you go full HP, you're going to be unkillable. Pretty much. And your final explosion is going to do a ton of damage. And using a form, your N key, is going to heal you to max. So if you want to be cheesy, all your points in HP, get down to 50% HP, use final explosion, pop your form, full HP. Final explosion is very good for farming. You would gather all the NPCs up, take 50% HP, and then use final explosion. It kills. You can kill every NPC in the game in one hit except the bosses with final explosion. And it's a wide area, so basically you can just auto farm like that. If you use it and then wait the cooldown and then use it again, you won't have to worry about healing to full HP ever. So you'll always be able to use it. The problem is the cooldown's a minute, so you would only be able to complete the mission every minute, and just normal, like, fighting them and stuff is... So, Fire Sun, Kamehameha from this, Sorcery Grab from the androids, Death Beam from Frieza, Sabasa drops Executioners, and here you go, Devil Fruit too. I'm getting lucky today. Devil Fruits will always give you a cursed power. The problem is it resets your pity. Every pity you always get a cursed plus power. I'm sorry, Devil Fruits will give you cursed or blessed power. So you're always guaranteed probably a cursed. Chances of getting blessed are really low. Especially for someone like me. I didn't get my first until I was rebirth second. So I got to level 100 3 times before getting my first blessed. Some people get it within their first few spins. Some people won't get it until their rebirth. Whatever. So don't feel too bad. They're not going to help you. I'm not certain about the ones they're adding currently, but they're not the overly useful things. They're good for grinding. Time Stop is really good for grinding, and Final Explosion is really good for grinding. But at the end of the day, you're going to use them once every blue moon. You're mostly going to be using your other abilities. Abilities I would say watch out for, as in you want to get them for Strength Base, Black Meteorite. It's really good in 1v1 situations. Farming, it's still useful. You can pretty much take a mob out and a ton of damage to it. Switching Alarm, really good. Good for farming, good damage. I would say get it. If you're going magic, use it. You're going to want to use it. 64 Palms, very good for 1v1s. Killing bosses, same as Black Meteorite, is good for strength. Supernova, it doesn't do much damage. If you don't have anything else to fill any of your other slots, use it. Bungee Card, good for comboing. PvP, good. Bosses, good. Farming, no. Myth Shroud. So if you're stuck in a combo, you're getting comboed, you're going to use this, it's going to take you out of the combo. That's what it's gonna do. Really good. Later on, I recommend always having it. Getting stuck in a combo is very annoying and can cut into your grind time. But if you don't have as many ability slots, don't bother equipping it. Always have it in PvP. Always have it or where is it? Substitution. They do the same thing. Mistshroud's better. It makes you invisible. You can readjust your positioning. But substitution has less cooldown, so you can, get caught. If you get caught more, you can do that. But this allows you to redo your positioning and just all around better. Death Beam from Frieza, but Death Beam, it doesn't do a lot of damage. It can be buggy sometimes. Scaling's not the greatest. Instant Transmission. Good in chasing, PvP wise. Nowhere else, really. Firefly is one of the best abilities in the game. It does a ton of damage, has a decently low cooldown, and has amazing stat scaling. And it auto-tracks. The only problem is you have to hit. It says the same as I'm using the Water Shuriken now, it's a similar ability. It says the same here. You need to hit them before it works. But if you use those two abilities, and they do hit multiple targets. If you use Fireflies and you have grouped up enemies, they will take multiple. They will all get hit. Kamehameha. Really good ability. Amazing scaling. Cooldowns, okay. But it locks you in place. It's not good for PvP. It's not good for mobs that move around a lot. I wouldn't use it later on, but early game, if you get it, use it until you get something better. It's just going to be so much useful. So much more useful than anything else. Water Shark. It's good. It does a decent little size explosion. Does decent damage. Scaling's not the greatest, but that's not a big deal. It auto-tracks. It's really good. Water Pool. Water Pool is Fireflies, except you place it on the ground. It is almost exactly the same ability. You place it on the ground. It slows and does damage to everyone in it. I recommend using it if you get it. Pretty much against every mob, it's going to be useful. It's going to slow them down, and it's going to do a very decent amount of damage. As you can see here, you can see how it hits all the targets, even though it's only tracking to one. With these, if you hit your target, if you kill your target that you have tracked, even if you've hit the other ones, with these abilities, they do not change your target. So once your target dies, your target is reset and you have no target. You have to go and hit them again with either an ability or your fist or weapon. Spirit Bomb. Drains all your energy. The more you have, the stronger it becomes. You can put points in energy, I guess, and use it. It's not going to do that great for you. But as you can, it's just not that great. I would recommend not using it, maybe early on. But even then, you're throwing all your energy away for one ability that's not going to do much damage. Flame Breath. It's good. Early on, I recommend using it. It's low base damage. It's very similar to Fireflies, but it's lower base damage, so I don't use it. Use it, yeah. It's one, area here. You can't aim at any. It's just going to do it right in front of you. Not that great. Later on, or if you want to be farming enemies on top of a hill or something, because you're not going to be able to hit them. Ice Spikes. Ice Spikes freezes enemies. It's really good early on. It can have some uses in PvP. Super Saiyans and Awakening, similar to Godspeed. I was not gonna talk about those right now. Sables. You throw sand tornadoes and it launches your enemy in the air. It can be really good for aggroing a bunch of enemies if you can aim it right. You can hit one or two enemies and knock them in the air, do a little bit of damage, and they'll come to you. You can't aim it down. It's always gonna go straight in front of you. It's not that useful due to that fact. So, if you're in combat, you can't switch abilities. However, if you just use an ability, you can switch it out. That needs to be changed. If an ability's on cooldown, you should be able to switch it. This is Limit Chidori. It can be good, honestly. Single target, it's probably one of the hardest hitting moves. But I use it. If I'm farming a boss, I would use a bunch of these, single target, heavy hitting abilities. Definitely. Key Volley. Really good. Really good. You can use it to aggro a bunch of different mobs. It does really good damage, especially early on. See, yeah, if you get it, use it until you get something better. 100%. If you're going magic, of course. If you're not going magic, I mean, right now there's like nothing but magic abilities. You're going to want a good sword. That's all you can do. And absorption grab. It says it scales off energy, but, you know, you absorb the energy out of your opponent, so, you know, has zero stat ceiling, so it's not going to matter. It scales off energy. It's good for combos, good in PvP. It's not going to do anything to mobs. They don't really have energy. They just use their moves. Bucket 30. It's just a stun, single hit stun. Could be useful in PvP. You know, you got a runner or something, you want to hit it on them. Bosses could be useful. I would just choose a damaging move. It doesn't do any damage. Susanoo Ribcage. As you can see, it reduces all damage by half. I wouldn't use it, honestly. If you're going a strength build, you're like stubborn, the same way I am with magic, and you want to make a strength, you know, a bunch of strength moves for farming and only use strength moves, yeah. I would suggest throwing in Susanoo Ribcage. There's not many other strength moves. Blessing Aura, it's a heal. I assume they're going to add more. You can put it down, and then it'll heal you, and then you could just switch back to another move. Like I said, if it's on cooldown, it shouldn't be switchable. But, yeah, you can switch to that and just heal up. If you're ever out of combat, you know, you just finished fighting a mob or something, you're low HP, switch it, boom, take it off. Keeping it on your hotbar, for certain bosses, sure. PvP situations, doesn't heal too much. You gotta put some points into it for it to really heal a lot. But no, it doesn't. It's not that worth keeping. Executioner's Silence. You can only use it if you have the Executioner's Blade. There's a lot better weapons than the Executioner's Blade. Once you get if you go for the Executioner's Blade right off the bat, because you want to go pure strength build, which at the moment, if you're going to pure strength build, I recommend going Executioner's Blade over our long sword, so you can use his ability. It's a very good ability. You spin around with holding the blade out. It's really good for killing enemies and stuff. Shark Break Punch. You know, it's a strength ability. If you're on a strength build, go for it. It's a decent, you know, move you can use. But I don't have much strength, so it's not going to do a lot of damage. But it knocks them back and, you know, does decent damage. Special Beam Cannon here. Never liked it. I tried it for a bit, but it's not the greatest of abilities. It's not worse. It's not that bad. If it's one of your first magic abilities, it's not gonna be too bad. Just gonna shoot it out. Does really good damage. Just goes a straight line. It holds you still. It's just a lesser version of Kamehameha, honestly. Needs less stat points and less investment. So, you know, from level 1, I would say Special Beam Cannon will be better. Party Kick Table. It is probably the best ability, strength-wise. And yes, it's a common. Rarities at this moment do not matter too much. It does a ton of damage. You know, it is great for combos. I mean, I'm not showing a good thing of it because I'm kind of lagging a little bit here. Yeah. Use it if you got it. Chidori. Once you get Lambent Chidori, zero reason to use Chidori. It's good early. I got, it was my first ability I ever used, so, you know, it got me through the first few levels. Paul Shot. It's good. Does decent damage. Doesn't have great scaling, so later on, it's not great. But early on, yeah. Shoulder Bash. Very good. PvP-wise, people always use this. You know, you just do that, and you stun them, and you do a combo on them. PvE-wise, you can use it too. Honestly, it's not too bad. As you can see, a lot of the strength moves are commons. So you're gonna, you know, if you're going pure strength, you're gonna be using a lot of them. Ground Stop. It's good. You know, gather all the enemies up, use it, do decent damage. If you're going strength build, use it. Otherwise, you know, a lot of magic moves are just better versions of it. Uppercut. Would pass if you can get, you know, some of these other ones, other strength moves here. Substitution. If you don't have Mist, you're gonna want it for any PvP or any fights you do that you get comboed a lot. Rasengan. You know, it's better than Chidori. It has the same cooldown, same everything, except it does more damage. If you don't have Limit Chidori, use Rasengan over Chidori. So when you get it. Kick Fury, never used it. It might actually be pretty good. That's a stun. It's decent. Ki Blast, it's pretty good. Very low cooldown, you can just spam it. Early on, it's going to be really good. Kaioken, I'm not talking about that yet. So I never actually used this. See. Yeah, okay. I don't have much strength. That's not too bad damage. Put some points into it. You know, some upgrades. Might actually do pretty good for strength-based people. So, Awakenings, starting with Kaioken. This is the Common Awakening. You increase your power and speed, but you take damage over time. It has the most damage boost in the game, currently. So, you're going to get the most damage out of it. But mostly Awakenings are used for heals, and when you're low, because regen can take a while, and PvP you're just not going to get regen. So, I would pass. There's no downside to using Awakenings, except Kaioken, because it drains HP. But, honestly, when I had it, it was my first Awakening. It took me almost to like level 100 to get my second Awakening, and I barely used it. The damage over time got nerfed since then, but at the time it was too heavy. Your next one's gonna be Super Saiyan. When you get Super Saiyan, slightly less damage boost than Kaioken. Use it off cooldown. If you're ever low HP, which you probably will be at low levels, use it, get a full heal, do extra damage, you know, take advantage of this. You can't really increase your Awakening bar, so they all last the same amount of time. Except Kaioken, which goes off your HP. And your Awakening bar. So even if you put points in your HP, your Kaioken is not going to last any longer than other Awakenings. Godspeed. Best Awakening available to testers. Decent damage boost. I put points into it, it's less damage boost than, you know, it's less damage boost than Kaioken still. But I put points into it, that's why you see it higher. It increases your speed, and your damage, and your HP, as you can see, has less HP boost, but it has more of an energy boost, and more of a speed boost. It's good. I would use it almost always. Every time I'm low, I always pop it, and just, you know, go ham. That damage boost does help a lot. And the last one is Mugetsu. Mugetsu is not available. It's part of the Bleach thing that's coming up. I've heard it's less damage than Kaioken. However, it is more HP, more energy, and has decent speed, but it comes with an ability. At the end of your Mugetsu, you're going to use an ability, and it does a ton of damage. I've been killed by it from a guy who managed to get it, one of the Trello staffs. It is very, very strong. Once you get it, use it. You know, there's not going to be any reason to use the other things. It's the only one that comes with an ability. Use it. So as for the other powers that I did not mention, there are 2 Game Pass powers currently. There's one for the Yoru, when you buy Yoru. It works like the Excuse for Silence, only Yoru can use it. It is very good. Honestly, it's the only reason to buy Yoru. The ability is very good. Without it, I wouldn't recommend using it. But since you needed to use this ability, yes. If you're going strength-based, this is going to be your blessed strength ability. It's the only one in the game, and it's going to be the strongest you can get. There are currently 4 blessed abilities in the game. You know, one's HP, two are magic, and 1 strength. So Night Slash is the only chance you got to get a strength ability. Honestly, once the new blessed weapons and the other weapons come out, I would pass on Yoru. At the moment, the ability is really nice. If you like Yoru as a weapon, you know, if you're a fan of Mihawk and stuff, get it. But once you can get these, which, yeah, at level 100, your first, like, level 100, you're going to be able to farm those. So, you know, just depends on you. If you like Yoru, buy it. You know, you're level 1. like adventure to 100 is going to be so much easier. Like, it will literally just take you no time at all. You put all your points in strength, just use night slashes, you're going to kill a bunch of mobs at once. I'm going to try to put up a picture of the Euro stats as well as a picture of night slashes. Your next Game Pass ability is Hawkeye. The God of Destruction ability that destroys things. It's like a single target grab. You have to be very close that executes enemies below 25% HP. It's okay. It's not the greatest, but it's okay. You can use it on I'm pretty sure you can use it on bosses, so it'll make your farming easier. I haven't seen anyone use it though, so I don't know anyone that owns the Game Pass or has used it. So honestly, if you want it, get it. You can also get a Game Pass accessory called the Rings of Divinity. It's one of the better. It's honestly not that great. It's okay. It's not as good as some of the like other armors, but you can use it. You can get it from level 1 without farming anything. It comes with an ability. If you have it, use it. It's better than the VIP armor, definitely. It's way better. But it's also not just the it's not the best. Game Passes, there are some good ones. Talking about them. First ones you should buy. Faster charging. VIP. Your top 2 priority. Next priority is gonna be double drop, loot notifier, and then if you want Yoru or Hakai, those Game Passes. But skip summon animation's not that long. I mean, as you can see, I have a ton of gems, so I could do like 100 summons right now. That would take me a while, but if you're impatient, go ahead and buy the Game Pass. But if you're looking for what Game Passes you should 100% buy, VIP, faster charging, double drop, and loot notifier, 100%. As well as a private server. Loot notifier in a private server is going to make obtaining rare items such as devil fruits, adamantine, and all these other, Requiem arrows and Dragon Balls super easy. You're going to be the only one in that server that's going to be able to grab them. You're going to have a notification every time they spawn, and they spawn fairly often. The only hard part about finding them is, you have to go and find them. And you don't know when they spawn, because they spawn every 10 to 30 minutes. Which, with the loot notifier, that changes, because you're going to know exactly when they spawn. And you're going to know when you need to go look. So, yeah, I would say it's 4th priority, because you're still going to get them. Everything you can find on the ground, you can buy from Kisuke, and once you're high level, farming gold is not hard. It's your 4th priority. If they add any more Game Passes, the priority should change. But currently, it's VIP, faster charge, and double drop. I only own VIP and faster charge at the moment. Double drop is going to increase your chance to get abilities and items from bosses. It is very useful for farming pretty much everything. You can farm fragments, alloys, cores, everything. You're going to be able to farm. You're going to be able to get more from bosses, because currently everything is dropped from bosses, except the stuff you find on the ground, which you can buy from Kisuke. And you're going to get more gems from it too, because every time a boss drops a core or alloy, if you don't want to use them, you can sell them for 25 gems. Gems are farmable. I do want to put that out there. They are farmable in several different ways. There's the AFK thing, gives a very decent amount of gems. There's ores. You can find ores such as emeralds and diamonds, very common, and they will give you gems. You can farm mobs such as the fishmen. If you have the double drop Game Pass, the drop rate of the fins are going to be very high, and it's going to be your best way of earning gems. Currently, if you want to farm gems, you want to kill the fishmen. They have a 10% chance to drop a Hydrofin. Double Game Pass, that's 20%. That's going to get you, let's say there's 4 of them. So pretty much every other round you defeat them, you're going to get 25 gems. And they're level 50, they don't take too long to defeat. They're easy to gather up because they're in a small little area. If you have a big AoE ability, you can just hit them all in one hit. And then you'll farm a bunch of Hydra Fins. The seller comes around, sells them for 25. Every 4 is going to be a spin. So with that, you can farm a ton. An absolute ton. You can get money and gems from farming the Fishman. If you want that, that's what you're going to do. You're going to go and farm those. Preferably with the double drop. But yeah, that's your go-ahead tip on how to get gems fast. The other one is the AFK arena, the AFK chamber, which with VIP or premium, you're going to be getting a ton of gems. For VIP and premium, I want to say every 15 minutes, you'll be getting a spin. It's not the greatest, but you're not doing anything, you know? You're just sitting in there, so it's not going to hurt you either. If you're not playing the game actively, you can come back. You can leave it on overnight, auto-clicker or something. Leave it on overnight and you can come back to 10 spins. A faster, more active way of farming, Hydra Fins. Double drop Game Pass, if you can get it. Farm these Hydra Fins, you're going to be in a very good position to get all the abilities you need. And with the rewards, the more damage you do, more rebirths you go through, you're going to get even more gems. Honestly, getting every ability in the game should not be too hard for most people. Your first goal is going to be getting to level 50. You're going to farm Fishman till 100, which is possible. It's going to take a little longer, but it's possible. And while you're farming those, you're going to be getting a ton of Hydra Fins, which is going to get you a ton of gems. Then you're going to rebirth. You're going to get even more gems from all the boss quests and, you know, just the rebirth rewards. And boom, you're going to be able to farm, as a new player coming in, if you farm the Fishman from 50 to 100, without the double drop Game Pass, you're guaranteed 40 to 50. Without the double drop Game Pass, I don't have it. So you're going to get 40 to 50. 40 to 50 times 25. Let's go on the low end, say 40, you'll get 40. Times 25, that's 1,000 gems. That's 10 spins from farming from 50 to 100, depending on your luck. If you have double Game Pass, you can assume double. So you can farm about 2,000 gems. If I were to give you a time, I couldn't. I would say every hour you could probably get 1,000 gems by farming the Hydra Fins. Assuming you do it in the most effective manner. So gems are not hard. 10 spins, you know, every 25 spins you get a guaranteed Curse Plus. So in 10 spins, you know, every hour, getting by the time you get Rebirth 2, Rebirth 1, honestly. If you do AFK in between, Rebirth 1, you should have every ability unlocked, except the Bless, by farming the Fishman to 100. Is it the fastest way to do it? Is it the smartest way to do it? Probably the smartest, most efficient. You're going to be earning gems and levels at the same time. The XP gain is not bad at all. Comparatively, it's like 1,000 less XP per mission completion, I think. Yeah, about 1,000 less XP per mission complete. 1,000, 2,000. That just means you have to do 2 or 3 more missions. They're completed faster because of the smaller area and the lower HP bars of the Fishman. So it's gonna balance out. It takes roughly this. It takes more work. It depends. So if people are farming the Cyberman right now, you can farm to 100 fairly quickly. Otherwise, I would recommend doing the Fishman just because it's going to take you roughly the same speed because you have to run around and gather up all the Cybermen and kill them. They have a much higher HP pool, probably double the Fishman. They don't have any drops, so you're not going to be earning any gems. So when the game releases, depending on the mobs they add in to the hollow area, I would still say for your first few rebirths, you want to farm solely the Fishman until 100. It's going to be easier. It's going to get you a lot more gems, and you're gonna your time on your rebirth 1 and rebirth 2 are going to be a lot easier. Will it take longer? Yes, but you know, at the end of the day, when you rebirth, you're going to have a lot more gems than the person who farmed faster. So, Shenron. Collect 7 of the Dragon Balls. Use them. You can wish for a blessed ability. You can wish for a bunch of experience, or gems and coins. The amount of gems and coins you get is not confirmed. I haven't seen anyone say the amount out of any of the testers. It seems like the testers are waiting to use their Dragon Balls so they can get some of the newer blessed abilities. Which, honestly, I would do the same. Experience, if you want to get higher rebirth faster, you want to rebirth, you use Shenron to do experience, and you'll skip like half the process. Not worth it. Honestly, if you don't have all the blessed abilities, you're going to wish for power. If you do have all the blessed abilities, you're probably not going to use your Dragon Balls. Gems and coins, if you have, you don't need gems. Coins are easy to farm. If you wish for gems, even if they give you 3,000, there's no guarantee you'll get a blessed ability, so you might as well just wish for the blessed ability. If you want to farm fragments, depending on the amount of gems, I would say go for the gems. You can get a ton of fragments. Fragments are the most important thing in the game. Not your abilities, not getting all these fancy blessed abilities. You want to get your fragments, you want to level up your forms, you want to level up your main abilities. They're going to do a lot more damage, and they're going to just be all around better, and you're going to have a lot better time. Fragments are the most important thing in this game, including wreck arrows. So your main things you want to get is golden cores, adamantine, wreck arrows, and fragments. They are the most important thing in the game, and they're going to be what you want to grab. There are leaderboards, playtime, bounty, and rank. Rank for PvP. Rebirthing resets your level and gives you 20 in every stat. So at level 1, you'll have 20 in every stat. Except for some reason it gives you 80. Just at level, at Rebirth like 3, it starts giving you 61 instead of 40. Because at Rebirth 2 I had 40. Then Rebirth 3 I had 61. Which is weird. But yeah, it gives you 20 Rebirth 1. 20, or 40 for Rebirth 2. Rebirth 3 is 60. Rebirth 4 is 81. And acceptance speed, which stays, the actual thing. And Rebirth 5 is 100. Once you get Rebirth 5, drop all your points in the main stat. These higher rebirths, once you get them, you're not going to even need to put points into health or energy. Your first go around, put some points in health and put them in your main stat. Do not split. A lot of people are going to be wanting to try out all the abilities and try all this stuff out. If you want to be the most efficient player, if you want to have the easier time of it. If it's fun for you, go ahead and split. But if you want to have the easier time of it, do not split between strength and magic. Pick one. Don't put any in speed. You're not going to need it. Same with energy. Your base energy is going to be plenty. And if you get any gear that has energy on it, you're not going to need any energy. Because at 81, my energy's only gone up less than 200. It doesn't increase too much. It's not worth dropping points in there. And all the abilities, as you saw, they don't have a high enough energy cost to really matter. You can pretty much any ability you choose, you can go ahead and use them all before having to refresh your ability. The only difference is the final explosion. The blessed abilities have higher energy cost, but they have higher cooldowns, and you're not gonna really. It's not hard to charge your energy. You have faster charging. You're definitely never gonna need energy. I would skip it personally. Just choose strength or magic. Go heavily into one. Put low points in HP. Get your first rebirth, second rebirth, all into strength or magic. Nothing else. You have 20 here, 20 here, and 20 here. You're not going to need any more in those to get through the game. Because you got through it the first time without putting any points in it. Why would you need it the second time, Especially since you already had more. Once you get Rebirth 5, you're going to have 100 and everything. I would say if you want to do PvP, put some in HP and whatever main stat you want to go with. If you don't, this is adamantine. Adamantine levels your weapon. Right now my max is 50, so I'm not going to use the adamantine because I'll lose 4 levels. But yeah, you'll always go into the same ability until that ability is maxed. This is a meteor. It'll kill everyone, and most of the map. It doesn't quite reach like Cell, that little boss arena, but everywhere else, if it lands, it will kill you. I've actually tried to perfect block it, which removes all damage. It doesn't seem possible. It might be if you time it just right and the lag doesn't, the ping gets you, has your back. But at the moment, it doesn't seem too possible. Normally, at my level, you wouldn't be able to solo it, but due to my prestige stats, it's not hard. 4,000 XP is really good for soloing, actually. Is it worth doing? No. Really not. So at level like 50, you come over to this quest. So 4,000's with boost and everything, so normal players would get less. So as you see, the Fisherman Pirates at the bottom gives me 1,250. I'm sorry, 1,250. When I kill it, though, you're gonna see me get like 3k. Yeah, 3k. So I got 1,000 less. But that meteor took longer to kill, as well as like someone normally my level would not be able to kill it. So you're better off just doing the Fisherman Pirates. You're better off just doing any of the missions, honestly, than touching that meteor. At like level 20, it's still not gonna be enough to really bother going over there. Because at level 20, you're not killing it without help, and if someone helps you, you're going to get less experience. I think, yeah, so soloing would be like 4,000 for me, but like adding one more person, I'll get like 2,000. And then one more person, I get less than completing Fisherman Pirate Quest. I get less than completing this level 40 quest. Just, the only reason to kill it is so it doesn't drop and kill you. So ores spawn on the map. They like respawn in the same spot, different ores. So as you can see, that was a diamond. That diamond could be iron next spawn. This is black steel. That black steel could be coal next time. Actually, there's no coal, but you know what I mean. They change. Gold could be iron. All this stuff. This big cave here, it's probably never going to be there. Rook here, he'll give you gems once. Never do it again. Same with the sus person over there. So your big deal with the game is just going to be to do all the missions, get to Rebirth 5, get all the cool moves, farm all the cool weapons. That's the main goal of the game. Leveling and farming all the cool weapons. Later on they'll add dungeons and improve, add more events and stuff like that, and it'll improve a lot with those additions. But on release, I don't believe we're getting dungeons. That's basically it. I went over everything you really can do in the game. You have allies. You can't hit them if you both ally. Can't hit they can't hit each other. There's shop here. You got XP boosters. You can buy some gems. You can change your ore color. Do not need to buy this because you already have it. Redo stats. You can find the Rokus pretty often. You can buy them from the merchant really cheap. So, you don't really need those. Keybinds, you can set up all your keybinds the way you like it. It's a really nice feature. The only settings are screen shake and fast mode. Fast mode makes it look kind of bad, but, if you need it, I don't know how to turn it off, but if you need it, use it. Let me enter your codes here. The codes, I'll try to put them on screen so you can go ahead and see them. And you use your health potions here. There's currently no like quick key. I wish there kind of was. To use your potions, you have to move your mouse down here and click it, which makes them really hard to use, especially in like a PvP or tough boss fight. You won't really, you have to get good at going down here, but hopefully they'll add a way to bind it later on to gems. They just give you gems. I think it's a random amount between like 25 and 100. Don't quote me on that, but I've seen very different, gains from picking them up. Prestiging is always worth it. It's never gonna cause any issues. You get extra XP, 0.2 every time, 20% extra XP. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I've gone over everything in the video. Honestly, it's like an hour long, and I'm probably going to cut it down to size a little bit, but it's still probably going to be super long. And if you just want to, if you want to know everything, watch the video. If you don't, I mean, you watched to the end, so if you wanted to know everything, now you know. Are there extra stuff? Yeah, I mean, there's abilities like Zero that are being added, and other stuff that I can't really show or really talk about because I don't have them or anyone to show me right now. I didn't talk about what he does. He just gives you alloys, 10 alloys once. It's not a big deal. Alright.